Good evening. My name is Warren.
And my name is Margie,
I go by Papa Bear.
and he called me Kitty Cat.
So most of the time I call her Kitty Cat. Sometimes I call her G. We get asked a lot how we met. So to kind of fill in that blank, we'll both kind of tell her how it got started. We've known each other now. May 26th will be 7 years. We met through her cousin, and I was actually living in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, working for the Golden Corral there, and she was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I was working in Abu Dhabi.
Believe it or not, I was watching a football game, minding my own business, when somebody came and handed me a computer and said, "This lady wants to meet you." Now, I'd gone through a divorce. I wasn't really thinking about meeting somebody, had my mind on other things of trying to get on with the rest of my life, and I was handed the computer, and guess who was there?
And actually, my cousin was playing on her video and she was chatting with me. And then she, without Papa Bear's knowing, he was introduced to me by my cousin.
Yeah.
And that's the time he handed the cell phone.
I actually was working for her husband in Fort Walton Beach. And I was actually leaving at that time to move to South Florida to go work for a different Golden Corral. And that's how we actually met. It was around Mother's Day. And after that we started talking, and needless to say, that long drive to South Florida, we talked the whole time. I'm originally from South Louisiana. Most of y'all know that.
And actually my mother is from Bicol and my father is from Bataan.
So we started kind of a long distance relationship. It was mostly just talking. She actually wanted to watch and learn. I was setting up a business at an office in South Florida, and she was learning the ropes of how we set up interviews and how we hired managers. And I was learning a little bit. I'm always curious about places in the rest of the world. So she was in Abu Dhabi, and so she would always show me the videos of the town. And she was traveling. What was the other town you traveled to there? Dubai. She would travel sometimes to visit her friends in Dubai. So I was getting to learn about Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and she was getting to learn a little bit about how to set up a restaurant from scratch. So we always had plenty to talk about. So we just kind of went that around.
And that time you said you were not used to sit and chat longer, but as soon as he met me, then he stayed longer and longer in the online.
Most people will tell you that I absolutely hate to talk on the phone. And we sometimes would talk for 8, 9, 10 hours on my day off, which still to this day blows my mind that it actually happened, but it did. But, you know, I grew up a history nut. My mother gave me encyclopedias when I was a child, and I would read every single page and beg for another encyclopedia, because in those days you didn't get a set. There was a grocery store in the little town I grew up in that when you bought a certain number of groceries, you could buy a letter, and you'd get A, B, C, and so on. So my mother would get me another letter whenever she could, and I would read that whole encyclopedia. And so my idea of life as I got older was to see all these places that I read about in the encyclopedia. And then we decided to try and have a get-together in the Philippines. So
after 10 months of chatting on Skype and Facebook,
yes,
we decided to meet in person.
And needless to say, it was for somebody's birthday. So we decided to meet in Manila. I didn't know she was going to have the whole family there, but we made our plans, and she actually met me at the airport, which on our next video down the road we'll discuss living with no luggage and living with no clothes and all the fun things that happens about international travel with your luggage staying somewhere else. So that was our plan. So we made it all happen. I came to the Philippines on March the 29th, which is Gigi's birthday.
2014.
2014, yeah. It's been 6 years that I've actually been coming back and forth. It was nice. I enjoyed it. We got to go over to the Mall of Asia. We like this place called Sea Residence.
You
because
actually like that condo.
right, because we can walk everywhere.
You'll just cross the street and that you'll be in Mall of Asia.
Right, and Mall of Asia is a city. It's not a mall like you think of it in like
It's a huge.
you know, the
huge
malls
mall.
in America. No, it's you need a golf cart most of the time to get around it. But it's a great mall because the air conditioner works wonderful and it's easy to walk from Sea Residence. So we went over to Sea Residence, and then the whole family showed up. The brothers, the nieces, the dad, the whole. And some of y'all have seen my pictures on Facebook with me with my arm around her dad and stuff like that. And really, I'll be honest with you, of all the people when I first got here, besides G, of course, her dad was the only one that made me feel welcome. The others, very standoffish. I'm a big guy, so I guess I'm very intimidating. And but her dad was great. He was real quick. He must have talked to me about cockfighting and all this kind of stuff. And
He loves cockfighting.
and he didn't mind having a drink with me. And so even though somebody doesn't approve, me and him had a drink together on our first night. We were together. I thought it went real well. I thought the whole family liked it.
Yeah, of course, the tradition here in the Philippines, once you met somebody, you need to introduce to your family. So that's why I called my dad and my brothers. And I said, Warren will be arriving here tomorrow. I'm inviting you to come over to meet him.
We enjoyed it, and actually most of the family followed us over to the condo and spent the weekend with us in the condo, which was nice because that first chance I got to meet her children. All three of the children were there. So, and they don't really, at that time, they hadn't really got to do, they never even stayed in a hotel room. That was their first time. And this place is nice. It has a beautiful swimming pool.
Five swimming pools,
Yeah,
I guess.
5 swimming pools.
Toddlers and teenagers and for adults.
And, even her brother and stuff, they all came and everybody got to swim. And it was really a good time because, it took away my apprehensions, my nerves. Because watching everybody having so much fun and enjoying themselves and everybody was swimming, it was a nice visit. But also we had a thing during that time, G had not got to spend time with her children ever, other than vacation.
Overseas for 4 years, almost 6 years. Yeah.
And at that time, Bea was
6
only,
years.
9 years old when I met you. Yeah, she was 9.
She's 9 years, and my
so
youngest
basically,
daughter.
her whole life, Bea didn't get to see her mama except on vacations when she got to come home to visit. So it was an idea of mine, and really I kind of put my foot down more than an idea because she was having some serious problems in her job in Abu Dhabi. She changed positions, and it was quite a bit more money. But sometimes what they talk about, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, this was definitely some nasty hay on the other side. It wasn't green grass. She was working for a person that was a scoundrel, a liar, a cheat, and everything else. And so finally I just said, look, let's just make it happen. And this was before I was having some issues with my job also. Let's just make it happen. We'll get us a condo in Manila, and you can be a mom. You can be here with your kids, spend some time with them. And that I was glad to do, because, I know you cannot wake up one morning and say, what happened? I didn't get to have no time with my mother ever. So we made it happen. We found us a condo in Manila.
Along Greenfield District.
Which is a great place to live.
Greenfield District, Shaw Boulevard. Yeah.
And Shaw Boulevard, like I said, most people that live in Baton Rouge, you will understand, if you take Airline Highway and multiply it times 10. Because one thing that you learn about the Philippines really quick, traffic signs are only a suggestion. You don't.
Everywhere you go.
And between her with her fingernails in the dash and screaming in my ear, she doesn't understand. I'm perfectly comfortable driving in lots of traffic with cars. It doesn't faze me. She had no light for it whatsoever. So what floor?
29.
We were on the 29th floor, and I put a lot of pictures over the years on Facebook, but we were on the 29th floor of Soho Central, and great place to live. Our condo was all glass, had a great view.
See the view.
we had views of Manila Bay, beautiful sunsets every night. And what was really interesting to me, which I thought it was the perfect place for me to live, is when you got down to the bottom and went across the street at our condo, it was like going to New Orleans. It had a big square that was sort of like Jackson Square, where everybody would go. Yeah. And every Friday night they had a
food.
Yeah, I'm trying to bazaar like thing in America, where each tent served, and you never guess what I found in Manila, Philippines, walking across the street. Somebody was serving beignets, and they were actually calling it beignets, and it was actually spelled correctly. And it was it was very, very nice. But for us, having the kids, because at that time the kids were just coming on the weekends. They were still in school in another part of the Philippines, so they would just come on Friday and stay to Sunday and go back to school on Monday. But everything was right across the street. And before you think of us...
You are surrounded by malls.
Right, and there's everything. We had two of the biggest malls in the world.
Mall, Mega Mall.
Star
Mall, Pavilion. And everything you can find downstairs. You have your Starbucks, you have your Dairy Cream, McDonald's, Jollibee, and Subway, which is your favorite.
Well, we had Baskin Robbins. Not Baskin Robbins, we had Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen. We had the Pancake House, 24-hour Pancake House. You could walk across the street where we were, and you can go to Pizza Hut and get 2 little pan pizzas. I just thought that was so cool.
Actually, it's a very safe area.
Yeah, very safe.
There's a lot of security guards, and there is a police station under the flyover bridge. So it's very safe.
The only thing I was ever concerned with, because you're kind of paranoid when you're overseas, and you know your passport is your life document to do anything and go anywhere. And she was always worried about my ring. Papa Bear, somebody go try to steal your ring or my chain and all this kind of stuff. So she had me a little paranoid. Like if I would try to get on a jitney, so I said, Papa Bear, they're going to try and take your ring. And
snatcher. There's a lot of snatchers in Manila.
Well, we call them pickpockets in America, but she doesn't understand the thing about where I'm from in South Louisiana. You take something, you may not get far, so we didn't really ever have an incident. We had a couple of incidents where guys would get too close to Bear or something. At that time, Bear was very little.
Or if they're selling something, they will follow you everywhere you go.
And I don't like to be touched, and so I'd always have to get her, tell them, don't touch me, So really, that was really the biggest issue. I was listening to a video today, and we hear so many where these guys, is the Philippines dangerous? Well, I lived in New Orleans, and I lived in North Carolina, and in Texas. You just pick Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. There's danger anywhere you go. You can walk out your street anywhere and get run over. So if people always ask me, is it weird for me? No, not even a little bit. I don't see it. She sees more danger than I do. I don't see it at all. Like I said, pickpockets, to me, they're not dangerous. They're just, you got to be paying attention. I keep my wallet and stuff in my front pocket, but other than that, I don't feel no danger.
And you were able actually to walk from our condo and pick me up in my work. I've been working in a call center.
About 2 miles.
I've been working in a call center.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Seidel company with account of Toys R Us and Sears account.
And the good thing about her was she had a good coach to help her with her training, because actually when I first met her when she lived in UAE, you could not tell she was from the Philippines. Her English was just as good as anybody else. The problem was when she comes back to the Philippines and tried to use their dialects and their accent, it changes, and it changes quick. So...
Because if you're working overseas, you'll be dealing with foreigners. You need to talk in English. You need to communicate in English. But when I come back in the Philippines, so you'll be talking with the different dialects. You have Bicol, you have Tagalog.
And I just learned that. That I just learned. I didn't know there were so many Visayas and all these others. I'm having enough trouble just saying Mahakita to keep from getting my face slapped. So I'm going to work on it some more, but,
I know what's your favorite word.
Hindi.
I've somebody is nagging him to buy this and buy that, hindi.
Hindi. And para. You know,
Everybody's looking at you if you're riding a jeepney and
Para.
you want to stop the jeep. Para!
I make sure that my jitney can hear me, and the jitney in front of me, and the jitney two up in front of me. When I say para, they all stop. So, yes, so that was really a lot of fun. I really do still miss Soho Central. It was a great place to live. You have massages down on the second floor, cost you $5.
On the fourth floor, swimming pool, you have
gym,
spa, and
and you could get mail delivered to you there with no problem.
And hospital too.
Right. Now, the hospital, I will tell you, I was very concerned about the hospital. Fantastic. They treat you like a king. And CEO of the hospital actually came to check on me before I went in. I had a bad infection in my knee that they had to do a surgery on it.
Yeah.
It was something called an inverted boil, where it turned in instead of out.
It's like a crater.
Right. Oh, it looked like a crater.
It's huge.
But I was really happy that I went to this hospital. And I'll probably use it again if I ever have to go back into Manila for medical reasons, because I want to go to America if it was something serious. But for any other thing, minor, broken arm, something like that, I would go there in a second. The people are super nice. And I actually have my weird sense of humor, so that even the doctor was pulling jokes on me while he's getting me ready. And the best part, I would tell you, I was really nervous about this knee surgery because I didn't know what I was dealing with. So I lived on the 29th floor. So right before my surgery, they let me go up to my room, fix me a stiff drink, and then come back down and go into surgery. So I just thought that was so cool. So that basically is our lifestyle in the Soho Central.
Actually, the hospital is clean.
Very clean, spotless. It smelled clean even when you walk through it. And being right there, you just go down your elevator and you, on what was the second and third floor? 3 floors?
4th floor.
Yeah, so it was 3 floors of hospital in my building, and it was brand spanking new. It was just fantastic.
And even the director of that hospital is the one who is guiding you inside the hospital.
So after that, I had to come back to America to work. I'm not eligible for retirement yet. So she was set up, and she was working at the call centers, but she hated working the night shifts. You know, because you wake up with big bags under her eyes and everything like that.
Panda.
And you know them, you know, in the mirror looking 24/7. You know, they. So I went on Christmas Day. I went back to America and.
Actually, in the Philippines, if your age is about 35 years old, it's hard for you to find a job. So the best that fits you is on your call center.
And it's the only one that pays any money.
Yeah, and pays you good money.
Yeah, most of the jobs pay 500 pesos a day, which is $10 a day. You know, that's construction. You know, I mean, it's real work for $10 a day.
But actually, I'm a midwife. I'm a registered midwife. So.
And a barber now.
I'm actually the one who cut his hair.
I stopped crying about an hour ago. You know, so if Eric is on here, or Dennis is on here, or Danny's on here, anybody that knew me, they don't even believe that I would allow you to touch my hair, let alone cut my hair. So
it looks good on you. You might just remove your hat.
She wants to brag on it but I'm just more proud that I still have hair. So that's okay with me. But yes, I let her cut my hair today, and I'm still shaking, but I'm okay.
There's no barber shop.
No, nothing.
We're in a quarantine this time.
Nothing open, but the grocery store is still here. We're under what they call enhanced quarantine. Okay, so I go back to America, and I go back to Golden Corral and work for a while. But then she starts having a lot of problem with asthma. And it is diesel city. Everything runs on diesel for now. They are trying to go green. They're trying to get some more environmental friendly. But you'll see these jitneys on later on videos and stuff like that. And these jitneys, all you see big clouds of black smoke every time they go. And then there's 1,000 buses in every city block. You know, so it's an interesting situation. So I stayed from January to August, and I came back again. And this time...
the first time you came here, you spent 10 days.
Right.
The second time you
August
came
26th.
and you were living in a condo.
Yeah, she was being born, remember? In August. I came right when she was born. Allison was being born.
3 months.
Right.
And then the next time you came...
August, again through January 1st.
Then you stayed for 6 months.
Yes. And then when I came back the next time, I'd already helped her. I'd sent her the money and stuff like that to find us another place to live because of her asthma. And she had found this place that we're in now. We've been here 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
It's okay. The landlord's a pain in the ass, but other than that, it's okay. The main thing we liked about this is her brother lives right across the road here. We live in
close to me.
we live in a very small subdivision, and it's only one street that circles around and comes back out and has like 3 little streets. It's like a typical small Oak Street and Pine Street in Dillow Springs. But having her brother here gave me peace of mind when I'm back in America working. She's got security. If she has a problem, her brother can come over, and her church is basically right out our door here. And she can get help from the church and stuff like that. And she's very active in her church and all this stuff. So that was nice. So it's not no Taj Mahal, and a lot of people in America would look at me and say, "Well, how the hell do you live there?" Trust me, you know, when I left home, my 1-bedroom apartment didn't even have a wall on it, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So, what they say about going full circle?
Yeah, the difference living in Manila and living here in the province is that
malls.
Yeah, our bills on everything in Manila, except paying the condominium, it's all you pay here: your electric, water, house, internet.
It cost me a third to live here compared to living in Manila. Manila's utility bill was higher than in America.
Yeah.
I'd have over $250 utility bills in my condo, and shoot, my house I was renting was $150. It was strange, but it was all glass, so it was like living in a magnifying glass. So when I came back the next time, we stayed again through Christmas time. I've always tried to go back and be here for this Christmas, and then the next Christmas with my sons, and then back, you know, just kind of alternate. I'm having to reach over here because I'm having a senior moment. Okay, after she moved in over here, I came back again. For some reason, I'm always coming back in August. So I came back in August, and we had neighbors that bought an island and somehow invested in an island. So she had good neighbors and people that she could talk to. And he spoke semi-English. He was British, right?
Australian.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's a race car driver from back in the early days, and kind of different, but you know, so am I. So at least I knew she had somebody to talk to. And then the last time when I came back, she had another person from the Netherlands living next door, and his name was Cor, and he would take care of her. He would take them shopping when they go shopping, buy her shoes and stuff, and he was a good guy. He moved off last year, and then just the last couple of weeks ago, he passed away. We still kind of in shock about that one because he was just called us the day before
he passed. To visit us after this.
Yeah, we were checking hotel prices for him. He called us up, was all excited that he was going to come and see us as soon as this stupid quarantine was lifted. And basically, the day he called us, the next day, I see online that he passed away. You know, one day later. You know, it's kind of a shock, but
he is a very good friend.
Yeah, he was good to her. He took good care of her while I was gone, and that was one of the big things about going back to America, having to leave somebody behind. You really struggle. So now we're getting to this time I'm here. Well, I had not planned on coming back this soon because my son's supposed to be getting married, so I was going to stay in America and make sure I'm there for his wedding and stuff. But needless to say, a volcano erupted right down the road here.
Actually, we are living in Tanawan City, province of Batangas, which is close to Taal volcano.
In which I'd taken my sister. My sister had gone on a tour.
Yeah, we went to the crater.
Yeah, they took pictures. I have pictures online. Where just last March, for her birthday again, we went up to the volcano.
April. It's Bea's birthday.
Yeah,
April.
But they got here on your birthday. They got here. So they went all around the Philippines. So
2 of her sisters.
Both my sisters came to visit, which I greatly appreciate. It was nice having them here. But the same volcano that I took my sister up on, what day in January? 12. Erupted, which hadn't done it 40, 50 years.
45 years, I guess.
So here we got an eruption. So I still wasn't no come, but in the Philippines, they have all these superstitions and all these things, and
there are a lot of earthquakes, and I'm alone here. So
I wasn't talking about you actually this time, but You always have these guys that know it all, and they always saying, "Oh, we got these steam coming in there." Well, luckily I studied earthquakes and I studied fusion and all this stuff, and I know about fissures and all these other things. So I kept trying to explain to her every day on the phone at nighttime. You go to sleep, you're gonna be fine. Well, that was a waste of time. So finally after a while I talked to the person I was working with and she said, "Warren, if you want to go." And so that was really my plan, just to come for a couple of weeks or whatever and just make sure she was okay, make sure the volcano was calmed down and wasn't an issue with the volcano.
Back in America,
So being the big Papa Bear that I am, I came back for Valentine's Day. I thought I would surprise her for Valentine's Day and take her out to dinner because I know she'd been upset for weeks with that volcano. So I get back here and we're going to spend some time together, and then we all know what happened. The world went crazy. So we're sitting here. I guess for me, it's been about 60 days sitting inside this house.
Yeah.
All the time we can leave is to go over to the grocery store. Now that's only twice a week.
The last time I worked was March 17.
Yeah, so it's going on 2 months with no work for her. Luckily for her church, the people there are great. Because they've come over 2 or 3 times and brought eggs and rice and stuff like that just to check on us. Because neither one of us have any income. And it's just really been a real struggle just to try to live from day to day. And we also try to help out her brother and stuff. Like when they bring us extra rice stuff, we send it all over to her brother's house because we don't need it. We eat rice maybe once a week. I know that's a shock. We only eat it like once a week. I'd much rather cabbage and stuff like that.
My favorite is mashed potatoes.
And she loves potatoes.
Salad.
We love all potatoes. So we're dealing with the quarantine the best we can. But the most important thing is, like I said, I didn't want to be here at this time. I wanted to be in America where it'd be easy for me to be working and still be able to fund our lifestyle. But on the other side of this coin, she's got no help. Zero. From her government, not one penny. They brought by one little stinking bag of rice that was maybe a pound, and 2 or 3 little cans of sardines and a couple things of pasta, Roman noodles for an American. That's for 2 months. It wouldn't
no
last.
help from the government.
None. Not 1 peso. Nothing. So if she wouldn't have me in her life, what would she be doing? How would she eat? How would she live? We have our son here. He had to leave college. They shut the university down, so he had to come back and live with us. How's he going to eat? Matter of fact, my first night or second night here, we had to rush him to the hospital in the middle of the night. Or meet him at the hospital. He was at school, and we had to meet him. So as bad as it is in America, at least you've got freedom still to travel and do things, and we see America opening up every day and all this kind of stuff. But like today, we go to the barangay on our scheduled day, Wednesday. We can't even we're supposed to be taken to the shopping center. We walk.
Because there is no transportation.
So we walk a half a mile. And then
it's a very strict quarantine here in the Philippines, especially in this place.
So for all my American friends out there, just remember, that when we got all this division going on in America, and it's sickening. It's part of the reason I like living here. I just get away from all the noise. Here, it's a struggle. It's really a struggle for the people that live here. There's just really nothing being done for them. And they have to figure out a way to eat. There's no unemployment check. There's no government stimulus check. There's nothing.
Well, if you were just close to the barangay captain, you will be one.
Oh yeah, if you're a important person,
in or close friend.
Yeah.
Probably.
If
you'll receive something from the.
If your daddy's brother is the barangay captain, you probably got a shot at something. Yeah. But if not, hopefully you can barbecue some tree leaves outside or something. So really, the 15th is hopefully we're going to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm being told that I may not be able to come back to America this year.
Unless we're shut down.
We don't know. We have no idea. My son's supposed to be getting married in September. I don't want to miss that. No way. But we just don't know what's going on. So we're just trying to figure it out day by day. And one other thing I want you to notice, I know I probably lost half of my viewers when they saw the shirts, but anybody that knows me,
we love LSU.
This is it. When everything else is depressing, I get to go back and play the championship game, and then that kind of puts a smile on my face. So for the Who Dat Nation and the Tiger Nation, I'm always going to have my LSU colors flying somewhere. I have a sticker on my car. I got my Houston Astros championship stuff right here. I got my Mardi Gras beads right here. So you could take the boy out of Louisiana, but you can't take Louisiana out of the boy. All right. So I enjoyed this. You have something you'd like to offer?
That's it. Just
How's it like living with an American?
feel good, feel safe,
Yeah.
feel loved.
You notice what came in last. One thing you have
Feel
to know,
loved.
you have to know the situation here. I'm the romantic. See the sign behind me? I'm the romantic. She's kind of the practical one, you know. She's good with computers and all this kind of stuff. So the person that remembers the anniversaries and the birthdays,
I'm the one.
the one that sits there and says, I was going to remember, but I was watching a TV show.
We have lots of deliveries in the clinic.
Yeah, she busy delivering babies. Y'all have a nice evening. Stay safe. God bless you all, and hopefully we all get back to our normal lives soon. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, and wait for our next video.
Please. And the most important thing, the subscribe button down at the bottom. All my friends, Eric, I still consider you my friend. You hit that subscribe button, Eric. Don't you let me find out you didn't hit it.
The bell.
And a lot of y'all, you're going to know stories that we tell, but I won't use your names. I promise you. Like, I'll use Dookie. And Dennis probably just got a smile on his face when I said Dookie, because he knows who I'm talking about. But we're going to tell stories about growing up in South Louisiana and some of the life. And most of the time it's going to be about the Philippines and some of the islands. You can, Puerto Galero, Coron, and lots of places we visited. The Bataan War Museum, great tribute to the American soldiers liberating the Philippines. A lot of stuff here is named after American generals. You know, MacArthur and Drive and all this kind of stuff. It's just prevalent all over.
We were able to visit Corregidor.
Yeah, and so we're looking at some other areas down the road. We're still kind of in the back and forth on this, but stay safe. Have a nice evening.
Have a nice evening. Bye.
Say bye in Tagalog.
Bye.
Good night.
Magandang gabi.
Good night.